Simple Tales presents The Lost City of Atlantis, a Platonic legend. Have you ever wondered whether civilizations fall because they grow weak or because they grow too powerful to remember humility? For centuries, people have searched the oceans, studied ancient maps, and chased impossible legends, all hoping to find the lost city of Atlantis. But the oldest storytellers believed Atlantis was never meant to be found. It was meant to be remembered. This is its story. Long ago, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, there lay an island unlike any other. Mountains breathed with green. Rivers ran so clear you could count the stones on the riverbed. Fields yielded harvests that fed not just the body, but the soul. At its center stood a city built in perfect circles, rings of land and water embracing one another like a sacred pattern. Bridges crossed canals that caught the light like scattered glass. White temples crowned the hills. Ships from every corner of the known world filled its harbors. Travelers who saw it swore the gods themselves had laid its foundations. And perhaps they had. The sea god Poseidon chose this island as his home. There, he fell in love with a mortal woman named Keto. To protect her, he shaped the land into great circles of water and earth, natural walls that made the city both beautiful and unassailable. Together, they raised 10 sons. Each became ruler over a part of Atlantis. And for many generations, those kings ruled with wisdom. Justice sat in every council hall. The strong stood beside the weak. Merchants traded honestly. Builders raised wonders not to glorify themselves, but to serve their people. The temples echoed with gratitude, not pride. And the island flourished. Its engineers mastered arts that amazed every visitor who walked its streets. Massive ships crossed distant seas. Great palaces reflected sunlight like polished mirrors. Every year, the city grew more breathtaking. But prosperity is a quiet test. And slowly, almost silently, something began to change. The rulers who had once served the people began serving themselves. The councils that once weighed justice now weighed power. Treasures that had been gifts became trophies. Neighbors competed instead of cooperating. Greed replaced gratitude. The old traditions faded like songs. No one bothered to sing anymore. Children grew up admiring wealth more than wisdom. And soon, the kings of Atlantis looked beyond their island. They no longer wished to protect their homeland. They wished to own the world. Their fleets sailed across distant seas. Their armies marched from kingdom to kingdom. Many cities surrendered without resistance. Others were conquered by force. The empire swelled. Its rulers believed no nation could ever stand against them. Many feared Atlantis. Few dared challenge it. But one small republic on the mainland refused. They possessed neither immense riches nor overwhelming armies. What they possessed was courage. They fought not for conquest, but for freedom. Though greatly outnumbered, they stood together, refusing to surrender what was rightfully theirs. Their determination reminded the world that true strength does not always belong to the strongest nation. The rulers of Atlantis laughed at such resistance. They believed victory was only a matter of time. But while they looked outward, something greater was watching from above. The gods had seen the change. The city that had once honored justice now worshipped its own reflection. The people who had once respected balance now believed themselves greater than nature itself. And so, according to the ancient tale, Zeus gathered the gods. The discussions were solemn, for the gods take no joy in punishment. They understand that arrogance, if left unchecked, will eventually consume everything it touches. Then, without warning, the earth began to tremble. The seas churned. The skies darkened. Mountains cracked open like broken bones. Great waves crashed against the shining harbors. Bridges collapsed into swirling canals. The white temples shook. People fled through streets that had once seemed eternal. Ships were thrown onto rooftops like toys. The proud towers that had taken generations to build crumbled within moments. The ocean surged higher, higher, until the sea itself swallowed the island whole. By the time the storm passed, Atlantis was gone. Only restless water remained where the greatest city on earth had once stood. Some said it vanished in a single day. Others believed fragments survived beneath the waves. Broken walls, silent streets, a kingdom sleeping in the dark. Generations searched for its ruins. Sailors claimed to glimpse white stone beneath clear waters. Explorers drew maps. Dreamers imagined hidden kingdoms waiting to be rediscovered. Yet no one could ever prove where Atlantis truly lay. Perhaps that was never the point. The philosopher Plato did not tell this story simply to describe a lost place. He told it to ask a timeless question. What happens when success convinces people they no longer need humility? Every civilization builds monuments. Every generation believes its achievements will last forever. But no war is strong enough to protect a society that forgets wisdom. No treasure is valuable enough to replace virtue. And no empire is powerful enough to stand forever if pride becomes its foundation. Atlantis did not drown because it was weak. It drowned because it forgot that strength without humility is just another word for ruin. That is why Atlantis continues to live, not beneath the ocean, but inside the imagination of every generation that hears its name. Thank you for listening to Simple Tales. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales from around the world. Until next time, may every great story leave you a little wiser.